Hi everyone, welcome back to part 2 of my journey through Nordland in northern Norway. This video might start out a little bit slower than the last one. If you watched my previous video, you know that I went on a long hike up to one of the Seven Sisters. It is now 1 o'clock and I was really stunned by the view, but also super exhausted when I got back to my car about 4 o'clock in the night. Oh my god. Car. After that, I really felt like I just needed to relax for a few days. To not have any plans or destinations, but just do whatever I wanted and felt like doing in the moment. These were some really wonderful days of my trip because I was just feeling so present. I know I've talked about it before, but this kind of slow traveling is something that I really value because you're so much more able to just be in the moment and do spontaneous things. And also when you are in northern Norway, the sights aren't really the most important thing because you're just constantly surrounded by this amazingly beautiful nature. And when you think the day is coming to an end and the night is approaching, you will be greeted by the midnight sun. And it feels like entering into another world entirely. I enjoyed a lot of nights and days by the sea there without any plan or any destination. But eventually I realized that I didn't have that much time left in the north and I wanted to make the most of my last days there. Well, good morning everyone. I think maybe good morning is wrong because it's not really morning, it's more like afternoon. I was so tired today. After that, in my previous video, if you haven't watched it, you should watch that first before you watch this one. I went on a hike in a mountain. And after that, I feel like I have a struggle to regain the rhythm that I had with sleeping. And also I've slept really bad and I didn't really sleep that much that night. But I'm still mentally riding a big high from that because it was the most insane hike I've ever been on. I still feel like that was a dream, you know? It feels like it was a dream. And this also feels a little bit like a dream, I have to show you. Isn't that the most perfect view? We have the sea. And then there's mountains. I have some plans. I think we're going to an island that is actually on the World UNESCO Heritage List, which is going to be exciting. But I know for sure that there are a few things I need to fix today. I need to get a shower somehow, maybe swim in the ocean. And I need to charge my camera. As you maybe noticed now, I film on my phone and I need to charge that as well. But first, let's get some coffee and breakfast. So, why did I decide to go to the island of Vega? It was honestly very spontaneous. The island was on the way where I was going, and the Helgeland coast where I was traveling is actually very well known for all its beautiful islands and island communities. And I've actually visited a few of them many years ago when I was on an artist residency. Each island has its own distinct personality, and it's really fun to travel there, but not all of them are good to travel with a car. So I decided on Vega because I knew it was a big island and I would be able to sleep in my car there. The Vega archipelago is actually consisting of 6,500 large and small islands. And is one of the only 8 areas in Norway listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. And the reason why it's listed as a World Heritage Site is very interesting and was also one of the reasons why I traveled there. What magical land is this? The Vega Islands is on the World Heritage List because of the interactions between humans and wildlife on the island. And this very special interspecies relationship has actually been going on for over 1,000 years. History speaks especially about the eider ducks in the archipelago. The people on Vega have throughout history built houses and shelters for the eider ducks and created nesting sites for them and protected them throughout the season. Because when the birds leave the nest, they leave behind exquisite eider down feathers that can be used in duvets and different things. Actually, the eider duck feathers were also used to pay rent to some landlords back in the day, so it had a big value and it still does. So this kind of trade between the ducks and the people kind of created a very special relationship between them that has lasted all the way up until today. The Vega Islands is also a very interesting fishing community, and there's a lot of history everywhere you drive. The only problem I had was that except for the World Heritage Center, most other things on the island were closed. I've arrived quite late today, so I don't think that many things are going to be open. This museum behind me, for example. But nature is always open. I drove around the island exploring for quite some time, but eventually I also decided it was time to find a nice parking space for the night. So I'm parked at what I think must be the most pretty parking lot ever. So let's get it. Before you get too jealous, just note that this is the third night in a row that I don't eat any dinner because I can't find anywhere to eat that is open. Apparently most things open in 21st of June when the tourist season begins. And I'm a little bit too early for that, so I've been driving around this island for I think maybe 1.5 hours now trying to find somewhere to eat. And I couldn't find anywhere, so let's see what we have. We have fruit, almonds, and knäckebröd. Yeah, and that's fine for some nights, but it's like third night in a row. So it's not all perfect, but it's just pretty close to perfect. And this feels like such a luxury, even though it's so simple. Sometimes the simple things can feel more luxurious in a strange way. I also have no phone service or internet here, which is actually quite nice. So I'm just taking a really chill evening. Maybe I'm gonna try to walk up the stairs here, not all the way to the top because I don't think my legs can handle that, but part of the way, or maybe not.
In the cold kitchen light, we both look for a sign, and you say, these are troubles of mine. Weary thoughts of breaking up, coming under your skin, don't know if we should stop or begin. 'Cause I was there by your side with my eyes open wide, and I know that will always be true.
This is the north. This is what makes it so unbelievably beautiful. It's like the light and all this space, you know, like all this mountain, all these areas of land where you're just like completely alone, and all these flowers, these butterflies, all these birds, all this wildlife. It's just so magical. I feel a little bit nostalgic and sad already because tomorrow is like the day when I really go home, when I really start leaving Nordland, the county where I've been now, which is part of northern Norway. And I go as far south as I can, I think, tomorrow, and then I stop whenever I need to, because it's still about 20 hours to get home, so it's pretty far still. But so this was just like a detour on the road, really, and now I really have to go because I want to make it home in time for Bendik's exhibition, basically, and he needs the car as well. I feel like if there's a pond where Nakken lives, this must be it, this black, witchy looking pond. I haven't showered in 3 days, so I'm trying to see if there is some place here by the sea where there's less seaweed so I can like get in. A rolling stone beach all to myself. We meet again, Bindalsfjellet. So, I have left Vega, I took the ferry, and I'm now gonna drive to as far as I can get today, actually. So I'm gonna drive probably for maybe 6 hours if I can. And it's currently 7 o'clock, so it's gonna be pretty late by the time I stop. And I'm just gonna see how far I can get, basically. And I'm finally leaving Nordland. This is probably the last like post. Yeah, and I think I'm not gonna film that much from now on and until I stop, because I just need to focus on driving and just get as much mileage in as possible, and it takes so much longer when you're constantly trying to film. So I'll see you guys whenever I decide to stop. I actually made it all the way to Dovrefjell, which is where we are now. And yeah, I reached my goal. I've been driving since 2 o'clock this afternoon, and it's now 2 o'clock in the night. So it's been a long drive, but all things considered, yeah, I actually made it. So, and the whole point of that was that I really want to wake up tomorrow like in these mountains. So now I get to do that, and I'm really happy about that. I hang my shirt like this so that I have like a curtain, and that also helps with some privacy in the morning if there's people parking in the same space as me. And yeah, I've like in the mornings when it's been really hot outside, I've like opened the back door and I just sleep like with the door open, because in the morning I don't feel worried about anything. And yeah, it's like, it's been so cozy. I'm gonna miss it. Good morning. I slept really well, but this morning when I woke up, I was kind of like surrounded by all of these camping cars, these RVs and stuff. So I just drove out of there as fast as I could, because it was like a lot of people and not like the type of environment you want to wake up in when you're like sleeping in your car and don't have that many clothes on. Today is the first day that I've kind of started to feel like a little bit homesick. I think it's just because I turned around yesterday, like for real, and started driving home. And then I kind of like let myself feel that feeling of being homesick, because I kind of have oppressed that feeling a little bit, because I knew I wanted to like push myself a little bit, so I couldn't really go into those feelings of like, oh, I miss Bendik, I miss my cat, you know, all that. But now I'm like, as soon as I turned around, I started feeling like, oh, I really look forward to coming home. But now, let's get some coffee. I just had to get one look at it before I drive out of here. So beautiful up here. Some dark clouds coming in. I'm so glad I went on this journey. I just keep thinking that it was so much easier to just do it than it felt like when I was thinking about it. Before I left, I was just feeling almost like a little bit trapped in a way in my situation at home and not knowing what to do. And I think after losing someone this year, you know, someone very young and vibrant, someone that was like so alive just 2 years ago, and then yeah, cancer and everything. It's just always such a intense reminder that you never know and that life is so short. And I just started feeling like, you know, I don't want to waste any time thinking about things. I don't want to waste any time just thinking about something that I want to do. I just want to do it, you know. And I've always been a little bit like that. It's very typical for me, but yeah, losing our dear friend and family member was like definitely pushed those thoughts like much to the front of my mind in a way. And yeah, I think a lot about her all the time. All the time.
You're up in the sky, I'll carry you home, home to the mountaineers. And soon, my friend, you'll see them again, the ones you left behind, the ones you left behind. And I'll sing for you all the way home. It shivers down my spine. I just sing my song as I walk through again.
So I wanted to get all the way home today, but I've changed my mind and I'm actually gonna spend the night in a place that, yeah, is meaningful to me.
And there she stands just like before, but she doesn't look the same. The fear in her eyes, I've seen it before, but she can't.
Welcome to my little cabin at my family's place. Yeah, so I'm home where my mother and stepfather lives, and I actually have my own little cabin here. It's like, it's been my place here since I was like in high school, kind of. So I moved out of the main house then because I actually moved out from home and I wanted to give the room to my siblings because it's quite a small house. So I moved up into this beautiful cabin here. My family is sleeping, but they said I could just come and I'll see them in the morning. I'm so sleepy now. It's gonna be nice with a good night's sleep. Good night, everybody. I'll see you in the morning. Oh, Cotton.
Hello everybody! You want to have some party? Let me go and make it party! Oh yeah!
Alright, so welcome to my family home, everyone. And if you haven't met them before, these are three of my siblings. This is Alva, and behind her is Isolde, and then on the couch you have Dirk. They are the weirdest and coolest siblings a big sister can have, and I really miss hanging out with them. So stopping by my home that day was a perfect excuse.
She's really beautiful! No spaghetti!
No spaghetti på YouTube! Åh, det är så söt. Och så sätter den på fullt. Voilà. Bra. I went on a little hike with my sister and my mother, and we just enjoyed the day. But unfortunately, I couldn't stay very long because Bendik needed the car for his exhibition. It was time for the last and final stretch of my journey. Back to the forests and fields of Telemark and back home to the farm and my cottage. Hi everyone, so I'm back now and I've actually been back for a few days now. After I came home that day, like everything just went so fast, and yeah, it's been quite busy ever since with Bendik's exhibition and yeah, everything. So I didn't really finish off this video that well. Yeah, so I guess I just wanted to come on here and say thank you so much for watching and for following along on my journey. I know this last part, like the part 2, wasn't maybe as epic and cool as the first one. Yeah, I just decided that I'm gonna upload it anyway because it is what it is, and sometimes it's okay to not have the perfect video, and yeah, I just want to try to I try sometimes to not be such a perfectionist because then it will take ages before I can publish a video. So I hope you enjoyed it nonetheless, and yeah, I will see you in my next video. It's probably gonna be at home here in my cottage. Have a nice end of the summer, everyone. Bye.